you doing? Hope you're keeping well. I should say hello everyone with a little wave, because today I'm going to be doing the annual Bob Ross background. I'm going to be trying to do it live streaming, well, live for me in front of the camera. But this camera, this one that I'm using right now, my DSLR, it times out after a certain amount of time. I think that's an SD card thing, but it may also be amount of space. I'm probably going to be working on this for a couple of hours. I can't leave the camera running here for a couple of hours, so I may have to dip in and out on here. I'm going to try and do it on my webcam, but my webcam is having some issues and it's not brilliant, so we'll see. One way or another, I'm going to try and get a feed of me doing this year's Bob Ross landscape background. This year, I have invested in an official, I don't know if you can see that, an official Bob Ross 1-inch brush, because I was finding last year that these regular sort of decorators brushes that I've been using, they're decorators brushes, right? So they don't seem to be working in quite the same way, and Bob does say on occasions that his aren't regular decorators brushes, and I had a look on some Bob Ross tutors forums and they say don't use decorators brushes, use the official Bob Ross brushes because they're much stiffer, so it makes a difference. Well, I gotta say, I've not used it yet. I don't, that doesn't feel a lot stiffer to me. It feels pretty much the same. We'll see, there may be a difference, anyway. Official Bob Ross brush. I've got my palette knife because I'm going to be trying some mountains again today, because my big canvas that I think I showed you last year, I want to have a mountain on it for being Mount Silence off away in the distance, but I still haven't plucked up the courage to work on that one because I'm not yet confident enough with my mountain palette knifing skills, so I'm going to be trying to palette knife a mountain. Also, it's been really cold while I've been going to work in the last week or so, and the scenes from the M5 with all the layers of mist and fog have been amazing, so I'm going to try and do that. So my plan is I'm going to divide the canvas in half as I normally do, so that I can have like a full background, or I can have just the top bit showing, or I can have just the bottom bit showing, depending on what scene I want to show. So I'm going to have a sort of reddish pinkish sunrise band across the middle here, and then I'm going to try and have a mountain coming out of clouds at the top, and then I'm going to descend into layers of mist down to the bottom, down to this bottom area where it sort of comes into the foreground. So that is the plan. Let's see how I get on. And I've had some requests to hear the title music, the starter music that I have on my videos, to hear that piece in full. That's a piece that was written for me, for Oakbound, for the Woods, by Emma Smallwood, and that was written a few years ago now. And I have played bits of it here, there, and everywhere for time-lapsey things. I'm going to try and do the whole piece. I think it's about 20 minutes, so I'll try and time-lapse this with the whole piece, so that you get two birds with one stone. Yeah, I'll catch you afterwards to debrief on how it went. but I think that'll do. I'm quite happy with that. It's not too dissimilar from what I have in my head. It kind of worked as I thought it might. I'm quite happy with the breakup that I'm getting on the mountain here. It's obviously it's not totally perfect. It's not as good as Bob, but it's better than the last mountain that I did with a palette knife. The thing that I'm finding tricky with this is I can do this side, but then coming in, and I think maybe I need to use this back corner more. I was trying to maybe use the reverse side of the knife and come in the opposite way with it, and that wasn't really working. I couldn't control my hand curving very well. And then I sort of was coming across, scraping it, and that wasn't really working. So I think maybe I need to use the heel of the knife a bit more for that rear side. But I do feel like the rear side of the mountain is going to be the thing that's really tricky to control. Now I wanted to put the clouds in after I'd put the mountain in, because I wanted the mountain to be sort of rising up out of the clouds, and I kept catching bits of the mountain when I was blending it out. So there's some blue, dark blue streaks here. There's a bit of brown streaked into the sky there, which isn't ideal. I'll probably touch that up as best I can. And it probably won't matter. I mean, I don't even know that you can see it on here. It probably won't matter in the photographs, but I can see it here, and it's bugging me. So I was probably trying to sort that out. So it may be that in future it'd be better to do the clouds first, then put the mountain in, then do the clouds over the front. But I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to be able to put the mountain in, so I wanted to put that in first. The mistiness worked quite well. I was finding it quite hard. These bits of trees here, the paint that went on, I think went on quite dry, and I don't think I put actually quite enough of the magic white, or what is it called, liquid white. This, by the way, this isn't liquid white, Bob Ross liquid white. This is linseed oil and titanium white and a little bit of paint thinner, okay, which is apparently what's in the recipe for magic white or liquid white. But I don't think I put quite enough on. I used a really shitty old brush to put it on, and some of the colour that's on this brush already was leaching off, so that wasn't ideal. I think I probably should have used my big brush that I thought I might use for blending, but I haven't touched this one, so I should have used this one for putting the liquid white on. Never mind. One thing that did work really well was my Bob Ross brush. Now I'm not sure if that's because it's a Bob Ross brush, or whether it's because I used just this brush for blending everything out. That once, you know, sort of, you could do with a bit more blending there. There's a bit more blending, but there wasn't ever enough colour on here for it to matter really where I was blending. I could blend it for the clouds, and then I could blend it. I mean, I did this area first because obviously I wanted to bring green up into the sky, but I didn't need to touch this. I didn't need to wash this or dry this once. It seemed to be totally fine just for blending out areas without picking up too much colour. So it did work really well. I don't know if I would get the same effect if I was doing the same thing with a regular decorator's brush and just using that one brush for the blender. I don't know. It might do. It might not do. Yeah, so I'm quite happy. I think it'll make quite a nice backdrop, being sort of slightly out of focus. Obviously, I wouldn't sell this as a masterpiece landscape, but for what I want it for, I think it's going to be quite a nice addition, and it gives me a little bit more confidence to tackle the mountain on my big painting. So yeah, there's another Bob Ross to add to the collection. You'll see it popping up in photos very, very soon. That's got a few days to dry. I'm going to go and have some lunch because I'm really hungry. But thank you for being with me. And I guess I should just say, God bless, my friends.